Soon. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
How are you guys doing?
Doing
So,
well.
all right. I couldn't make it to the campus today, so I decided to have this with you remotely. Um, the first day of class is very, very, very important because that's when you set the ground, um, set the stage, basically. So, anyway, my name is Joseph Orji, and I'm gonna keep you company this semester. I think I opened so many pages. So I'm gonna close some of them. Okay, good. So let me start by taking you to the classroom. Let me see. The class is right here. Yep, this is the class. So I'm gonna share this. All right, this is the class. So I made a series of announcements. For example, uh, the first announcement I made was the welcome announcement, where I showed you, or rather explain how you can where you can download the syllabus. And I made other announcement about using the Remind app. Then I made an announcement about the things that are due this week. Every week I'll be making this kind of announcement. This is week one, and you can see week one activities and assignments. But we'll come to this later on. Let me start with the syllabus. Of course, you can download the syllabus by clicking on the syllabus link on the left navigation menu. Left navigation menu. When I click on it right here, you can see the syllabus link right here. So you can now download the syllabus from here. I have it already downloaded, so I'm just gonna open it. See, this is the course syllabus. Um, so this class we meet in the campus. It's just that like I said, today was not it wasn't possible for me to make it to the campus. So sometimes if like if you have bad weather or other unforeseen circumstances, we might have it remotely. But in general, it is not a remote class. It's a class that requires physical meeting in our classroom. Classroom is room 314 at Graves School of Business. Now, this is the textbook for the class, but you know that if you are enrolled, well, Morgan State have a program they call it one day program. If you are there, if you are in the program, they already that means you can have access to the textbook. I'm going to show you how you can have access to the textbook in a minute. So what you're gonna do is um you go to where we have course materials. Make sure you're seeing this. See, we have course materials, and then you click on it. It will reveal this page. Um, See the page. Now, this is the textbook for the class. So what you need to do now, and I don't know how it will show on your end, but you're gonna see the reveal access code. So you click on this, it will reveal the access code. Then you go back to where we have my lab and mastering, and then go in and register there with the code so that you can access the homework and the tests online. So you can also access the textbook online once you are in and register with the code. You can see the textbook online, and then you can download the chapters and read the chapters as well. So I require you, in my announcement, I explained these steps already, and I require you to complete this by this Sunday so that you will have access to the book and the homework. Now, let me move straight to where most students have interest, which is the grades, how you be graded. This is how you be graded. This course. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. So now, this course, this is the type of assignment, the list of assignments we have in this class. Classwork carries 20% of your grade. Your attendance and participation carried 5% of your grade. Tests and exams, 25%. Homework, 15%. Project, 15%. Then final exam, 20%, which make it a total of 100%. Okay. Now, taking you back to the course share. This is the announcement where I mentioned the assignment that I do this week. See, next week I'm going to post another announcement. We'll call it week 2 activities and assignments. So every week I will be posting it so that you can know what to expect that week. So the first thing is to read the course material. Begin reading chapter 1 of the course textbook, chapter 1. Then I'll also upload the PowerPoint presentation and spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. I will be using Excel in this class for computations. So read them and the textbook. I will show you where I post the PowerPoint each week and the spreadsheet. Then the assignment that I do this week is classwork 1 and homework 1. Now you can access all this homework classwork by going, once you register for the first time, you can access it by going to the models. Hope you can see this. Make sure you're seeing this. Models. Okay. So if you click on the models, you can see this is the first model, is the syllabus model. This is the model 1, which is the introduction to operations management. You can see the PowerPoint right here. You can see the spreadsheet right here. The first classwork. I don't think I put it yet already. Okay, I have it there already. Okay. So you have your first classwork. And you know that I put the due dates on the announcements. For example, the due date for classwork 1 is tomorrow. Homework 1 is due next week. Because I want to leave this week open so that we have time to register in my lab and mastering and have access to the book. Now, then the next thing I want to show you is this. For this class, we'll be using Remind. So, if I'm coming like today, when I noticed that the class may not start by 6 p.m. like we scheduled. I sent a message announcement. I posted an announcement in Canvas. I also sent a message to Remind. Those of you who have already registered got my message immediately. So I recommend that you register so that you can, when I make certain announcement, it will come to your cell phone as a text message. And to register, just text this is the message right here. Text this message at HHBG2GB to this number. And then it will respond. Then follow from there, follow the prompt to register. If this number doesn't work to you, you can text it to this number here and register. Okay? This is the fastest way to reach me. through this remind app. Okay. Now, so I think I've given you enough information for us to for a start. We can begin now. Uh, but before we start, does anybody have question for me in what I have said so far?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've been trying to put the access code in,
Mhm.
um, and so when I go copy the access code
Mm.
from the course materials tab, and I go to My Lab Mastering, it doesn't work. It says it's not the right code.
Why? Okay. Um, so I would recommend, Barnes and Noble, they have I think I explained it on the syllabus. If you look at the syllabus right here, I think I explained that. Uh, say you can contact them to see why it is happening that way. This is where I have in the syllabus. I think I have it somewhere. Oh, okay. Maybe I think it's on the announcement then, if it's not here. Let me check the announcement. I think it's right there. I'm surprised yeah, I should have it here. Give me 1 minute. Let me pull this. Mm, Course material. It's another course material, I believe. Got removed. Okay. That means it's in one of my announcements. Let me look at the welcome announcement. I think I put it there. Yeah, you can either you call them with this number here, um, or you
Okay.
can go to they have their bookstore in the campus.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can go take the code. So what? Take the code and go there, see if they can help you out with getting.
Yeah.
So you click on the course material here, and then it reveals the code for you, and then you try to put it in, and remember it has to be for this book, not for this second book. You got it for this book. You don't try it for this book.
Yeah, I'm trying it for that, but
Yes, it didn't work.
yeah, it's not working.
Okay, go either you call them in the number I showed you in the announcement, or you can go. I recommend going there in the to their office in the campus, so that they can help you out there. Let me know the outcome. Okay.
No problem.
Hmm. All right. Any other question? If you have question, please ask me. I'm
I
here.
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I registered for your course today, through Websys, and your course didn't go to my Canvas yet, and you have an assignment due tomorrow night. If your course is not on my Canvas by tomorrow night, are you able to extend it? I can send you an email as well with my name and everything.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So you mean you cannot
I
log into
can't access
Canvas?
Canvas. I actually got the link to the Zoom from one of my classmates when I attended class, and that's how I found out that it was on Zoom
Ah.
when I attended in person.
So what's your name then?
My name is Jayana Reynolds.
Yeah, send me. Oh, I was looking for it. Reynolds. So send me an email, right, about this, so that
Okay.
once you have access, you can now do the classwork.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question before we start? Yeah, okay, good. So let's begin. Like I said, you already know this course is the title is the supply chain and operation management. Can you all see the PowerPoint on the screen? I have it a copy for you.
Yes.
If you go to the models, you see what I have the spreadsheet there too for you. So you can see the screen, the PowerPoint, right? The presentation.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So supply chain, we call it supply chain. Well, we'll come to supply chain later. Let's focus on in operation management. Supply chain is I'll call it a subset of operation management because it comes under operation management. So operation management has to do with all activities that create values in the form of goods and services by transforming the inputs, which can be labor. material and other things into output. In other words, what we are doing in supply chain management is to manage the entire production process. You know that providing services is also a type of production. So managing the entire production process, that is overseeing, designing, and controlling the production and delivery of goods and services. That's what you do in supply chain and in operations management. Okay. So I have some examples here for you. Let's look at manufacturing. The car manufacturing, for example, a company like General Motors manages operation by planning production schedules, controlling inventory levels, ensuring quality standards, and optimizing logistics. So, and then when it comes to service, a healthcare provider like, let me say, John Hopkins Medical Center, for example, they manages operation by, scheduling appointments, managing patient records, ensuring staff availability, that you have the staff they need at the right time, for their clients. And of course, maintaining clean and safe environments. These are part of their operations management. Now, then another example I gave here is Amazon. You know Amazon, the online market where it started as an online bookstore, then became a online market, worldwide market. Yeah. So they manage operations by optimizing their supply chain and logistics network. By doing that, they're able to offer fast delivery and maintain customer satisfaction. Matter of fact, when Amazon started, people were not, a bookstore. People were thinking at that time there wasn't all these fast internet services or an internet on the phone. Then to have access to internet, there's what we call dial-up connection. You have to have a landline. Then you have to dial, then connect to the internet. So people like, especially many bookstores, where physical bookstores like Barnes and Noble, Borders, and many independent booksellers. People was like, why would I have to have an internet dial-up connection and then log in before I can order a book? I can just walk into in a store and buy a book by the time I finish having all those things. But Amazon, Jeff Bezos saw the future. This internet is going to change a lot of things. Now, 10 years to 15 years later, they were able to optimize their operations so much that they knocked out Borders. Borders was one of the biggest bookstores in US before, but Amazon knocked them out. Then and also had competed Barnes and Noble. Not only that, they started adding other things, goods, and they started selling all kinds of goods. Thereby, many big stores started having problems because they are not able to leverage the online platform, or what I call the e-commerce, the way Amazon did. Amazon was able to leverage it very well, cut down costs, and at the end of the day, they were able to knock out. In fact, when I came to US, Macy's, the stock price was almost $60 per share. But now Macy's is struggling because of Amazon. So many big stores, even JC Penney, all of them are struggling because of Amazon. Not them. So now this is what happened when they not only that they were able to see the future, take advantage of a new technology, which is the internet. Then they saw that the future effect. Then they're able to optimize their operations and supply chain so much that the cost it is not easy for other companies to to mimic what they did. They can, all of them have e-commerce now, but the way Amazon did it, it was the cost of doing it is cheaper for Amazon. Then the other services like Amazon Prime, what they call so many things they added, and they're able to optimize their operations so much that it becomes they became the last man standing when it comes to big stores. Anyway, I think you get the point. Now, Toyota is also another company that is known for optimizing their operations. Their lean manufacturing principle, where operation management is where operation management plays a very important role because of in terms of reducing waste, um, um, improving efficiency, and ensuring high quality production. Now, okay. Now let's look at this concept. When we say operations, I mean in the light of operation, the cost of operation management. When we say operations, what are we referring to? When we say use the term operation, we are referring to all the core activities that are involved in producing goods and services. Things like procurement, which involve getting the raw materials and supplies. Production, changing those raw materials to output. For example, a doctor in a doctor's office, if you have an appointment, you go there for this time is a service, which is a part of production. This is an appointment for an annual physical. Okay. Now, so now they now collect their sample, which is the raw materials, and they now process it, then provide the result, which is the output. Now, how about a company that makes let me put it this way, company that make alcohol and wine. They get the raw materials and then produce the wine, bottle it. How many cartons of wine or bottles they produce become the output. The raw materials, which are the material for making the wine, becomes the input. And of course, you have to labor is also part of the input. All the hours people worked to transform the raw materials for the making of wine to wine itself. So it becomes the raw material becomes the input, and then the output is the number of bottles or number of cartons of wine they produced. Okay. So now we have next is the inventory management. Very, very important. Controlling the flow of inventory or raw materials. And finished goods too. A store like let's say Royce, I think Royce they call it. Ross that sell wares. So now, especially during the season, they have to if they don't sell off the old stock, it will tie down the money, the cash they need to buy new line of product like fashion or new brands or new designs that are coming in. Now, they need to. That's why sometimes during season, Christmas or any of these holidays, they start doing sales, 50% off, 30% off, because they want to move that old inventory out. The money they get from it, they can use to buy a new inventory of clothes and shoes, and then put it in. If they can't do that, their competitor might take over the market from them. So inventory management is very, very important because like I always tell my students, if you have a business and you are not thinking 10 years ahead, then you don't have a business. It's a matter of time your competitor will just take over the market. And we've seen that happen many times. How Amazon, I already explained how Amazon ate the lunch of that belonged to J.C. Penney, Macy's, and so many stores that are closed down due to the advent of e-commerce. Anyway, another aspect of operation also involve the quality control, which you have to ensure that the product or services meet the standards or meet the claim that you made about the product. Otherwise, you're going to face a lot of lawsuits, either from customers or from government agencies. Then logistics, which means managing the movement of goods and materials. So once you produce the good or service, they have to move from point A to point B, where customers can have access to it. Logistics is very, very important in the field of operations management. Everything you get on the stores. There was a time I think they call them the longshoremen in a port of Baltimore. I think that was like 3 months ago when they wanted to go on strike. It will have affected even the most little thing you buy in the grocery store, because they are the logistics. They are make sure that things that come from the rail and the trucks are uploaded and moved to the stores where they can now be consumers like us and you guys can have access to to those materials. Logistics is very, very important. I will say that to a very large extent, logistics can be seen as the spindle in which the wheel of commerce revolves. Without that, things not only that we don't have access to the materials we take for granted, but they'll be so expensive because if if they are scarce, then they become costly. But with good because of logistics, the existence of this activity that we call logistics, whereby goods are moved from the point A to point B where they are needed. You can go to the store and things are there and they are there in large number. So, and they are also affordable. Now, I give an example with Starbucks. Starbucks operation includes sourcing the coffee beans wherever they can find it cheaper, then managing the supply chain logistics, bringing it where they can be produced, then brewing the coffee, then providing a consistent customer service and customer experience across all the locations they have. Then airline is another example. Their operations involves scheduling flights, managing the crew, maintaining the aircraft, ensuring that passengers have a smooth experience when they check into their aircraft. Excuse me. Now let's look at operation management versus process. Now, operation management, like I explained before, involve the management of processes or systems that create goods and provide services. Now, processes, on the other hand, means all the fundamental activities that organizations use to transform resources into goods and services. Now, here are a few things that are involved in the production process. Idea generation. Like now, I already gave example with many with Amazon a lot, but there are new products that come out every time. There's some people that there's one I was watching in the other day in Shark Tank. Somebody produced I think it was it looks like a I'll call it a reflector. Like they say that somebody was using a boat and the boat capsized. If it is in the sea, it might be difficult. Even if they call 911 or the rescuers, they might when they come with a helicopter or with whatever they use to rescue people whose boat capsized. Sometimes they find it difficult to locate them. So this guy built I forgot what he called it. So you can put that it will reflect, it will be showing where you are located in the sea. So there's a name. I hope I wish I remember that now, what they called it. So aircraft that come to rescue you, or lifeguards, or whatever they call them, we can now see the light showing where you are located. They can easily grab you. So that thing started as an idea. Now, everything that are manufactured started as an idea. The manufacture of an automobile started as an idea. Uh, the manufacture of a computer started as an idea. Now, remember when we have the regular cell phone that can only do and phone calls. Highest they can do then was take a picture with a phone. Now, Steve Jobs came out and discovered that, well, many people, internet is expensive that time. Now, maybe to have an internet, you have to have a landline, and then you have to, I think it's AOL that normally that's very popular then. You buy you get the disk and then you install it, and then they start paying them every month. So, but many families don't have that luxury. And then not only that, in some countries, some poor countries, a lot of things, family don't even have uh, internet, don't have even landline in their house. Not to talk of internet. To use internet, they have to go to the cyber cafe. They call it cyber cafe, and then pay to use internet. So now Steve Jobs came out and said that, oh, in a smartphone, we can make internet available to everybody. All you have to do is to buy the smartphone. See that idea. Then the Win thing now exploded. You know, they were able to figure out where they can get a component of the cell phone cheap, cheap labor, so that they can make it affordable to people. So all of a sudden, everybody have internet. Once you have a phone, you have an internet. That's an idea. And that idea was built into a smartphone, and then it made it possible for people to have access to internet. Now, so now next another one. There are many. I can use many examples, and I recommend that you really look for more. So that is idea generation. You get the idea, then you screen the idea, then develop the concept and test it. Then now you start doing the financial groundwork. Estimate the cost of producing it, and then estimate when you will, if after production and still when you start selling, when you're gonna break even. Then you conduct beta testing and market testing for the material, and then of course the technical implementation aspect comes, then commercialization, then pricing. So all these things happen in big corporation. For a small producer, it may not go strictly through these steps, but at the end of the day, it might go. Some of the steps here, he or she might be doing them subconsciously, but some steps can be skipped by individual producers. But in big corporations, or if the idea was generated in a university lab, they normally go through this process before they can now be commercialized. Okay. Now, operation management is the core of business organization, is a fundamental function within all business. Day-to-day running of business, day-to-day operations, all come under operation management. So in other words, operation management is the backbone that supports other activities in the business, such as marketing, sales, finance, and human resources. So in other words, without operations, a company cannot produce any products on time. Without operations, they cannot maintain inventory. Without operations, they cannot deliver services to customers. So operation management is the core of business organizations. Now, McDonald's, as an example, their operation includes supply chain coordination. Yeah, of course, they have their people. I think US Foods that supply them some of the The raw materials is the what they use to make the sandwich and other, salad and other things they make. Now, then assembling of the product, you place the order, they start to assemble it. If it's placed order for sandwich, let's say their order was for chicken sandwich, they start to put them together. Then, so these operations are critical to delivering high quality product on time, which also influences McDonald's profitability and customer satisfaction. Now we have there's a relationship between operation and other functional areas. When I said other functional areas, I'm talking about the marketing and finance and human resources. You can see that they are all related. You can see the ranks connection. Operation connect to marketing and to finance. And then, for example, I give an example, Nike operations. The operation involve working hand in the operation managers work hand in hand with the marketing department to make sure that the right products are produced in the right quantities, and then their finance department ensure that the production costs align with overall production goals. Now, at this point, we are ready to look at the costs and opportunity of operations. So I wrote here that operations are one of the most significant cost centers in business. Why? Well, I would say because operations involve expenses that are related to production, labor, equipment, logistics, and quality improvement. So what this means is that if a company improves their operational efficiency, they can reduce cost. They can improve their profit margin. They can also gain a competitive advantage. And that will, of course, make them to corner the market. Now, I use Walmart here as an example. Now, let's say that, in fact, Walmart, their profit margin, things are cheap. They sell things are cheap in Walmart. What is the best way to do it? To put it? They have improved their supply chain and inventory management very well, so well that the company can offer lower prices. Let me put it this way. Let's say that you are the one producing this cell phone, right? And you want to sell it through Walmart. Let's say that the cost, you want to sell it at $100. Now, Walmart might ask you, we want you to make this phone, a phone like this, that we can sell for $60. We can guarantee you high volume of sales. Now, if you are selling it in your own store, maybe by selling, let's say you're selling 1,000 phones in a month. With Walmart, you can be selling 10,000. So the volume is there. So that means that you have to do something, maybe some of the features that you added in the phone that make it to cost $100. You have to remove the one that are not relevant. So that's why, so that with that, now we can be able to have a deal with Walmart to sell to them. So they'll be selling at $60. They say that $60, that's $60, you're making $10 on top. And then you might be making $5. But think of $5 times 10,000 a month. Sales a month. So Walmart, their margin is low. Profit margin is low, but the volume they sell they still make them to be viable. Now, they have figured out a way to manage the inventory and supply chain, sourcing products where they can be cheapest. They know that the consumer is conscious of the price. So price leadership is what Walmart is their secret of success. Selling things at an affordable price, even though at a low profit margin. Now, Tesla is another company. Tesla continues to work on improving its manufacturing operations to lower production costs. Unfortunately for Tesla, China, because of the fact that they have cheap labor. In US, labor is expensive. First of all, you have to meet with the workplace in, environment, workplace. The government require the workplace to be maintain certain standard, which cost money. Then, of course, you have to provide health insurance. I think they call it comp. I forgot what they use. Those in human resources knows this better than me. They call it workers comp. Then minimum wage in some states is $10 per hour. The same. So when you add all this together, it might be costing you up to $20 per hour for a worker. That same worker doing the same job in China might cost only $2. So because of that, they're able to make cheap electric vehicle that are even cheaper than what Elon Musk is making. But no, China's own is different though, because their system is rigged. Why did I say that? They're able to do that. One, they have cheap labor. On top of that, their government is giving them subsidy to lower the cost. So in other words, China depends on their economy is export dependent. So their government will just do everything they can to make their product to be cheapest. So the other countries that they are doing business with, like US, feel that they are cheating, And of course, I don't. This is not the place to. In my finance classes, I explain this better. But here we are more focused on. Let us just focus on our operations and supply chain. Anyway, now, so I want to show you some jobs that are, careers in operation management. Like you have a branch manager in a bank. Of course, is an operation manager. Then department store manager, like all these dollar store manager, department store manager, or Macy's manager. Then project manager that plans and coordinates tasks such as new product development, that coordinates staff activities in things like new product development or new technology deployment or new facility location. These are operation managers. Then hospital administrator is also an operation manager because they oversee human resources management, staffing, and finances. Then you have the purchasing managers, and then of course, production control analysts. Now, which brings us to the main thing that operation management is involved with: goods and services. We know what a good is. For example, this phone is a good. A car is a good. Food stuffs are goods. So you can see them, you can touch them, you can consume them. So oranges, flowers, television, soap, airplanes, fish, furniture, coal, all these are goods. Now, a service is not as tangible, it's not really tangible because you cannot see it or touch it. So things like hotel services, legal services, financial firm services, airline services. So all this we can not touch, but we need it to function. So it's any primary or complementary activity that does not directly produce physical goods product. Now the similarity is that goods and services produce value and satisfaction to customers who purchase and use them. Not only that, goods and services can be standardized or customized to individual wants and needs. Now, their difference is that where good is tangible, service is not tangible. Now, when it comes to service, customers participate in many service processes like and activities and transactions. But when it comes to goods, customers may not directly participate in the production of the goods, but they can buy it and use it. Now, the demand for services is more difficult to predict than the demand for goods. There are some reasons for that. Now, services cannot be stored like the way we store goods. and so on and so forth. Now, for more of this connection between goods and services, I encourage you to review this chart here. It actually self-explanatory. For example, when it comes to output, goods are tangible, services are intangible. Now, when it comes to uniformity of input, goods are high. You know, you use, let's say, like you use let me use bottled water as an example. You get the water. This one is how many ounces? 33.8 fluid ounces. See, it's uniform. So when this bottle will be filled with water, the quantity is 33.8 fluid ounces. Now, when it comes to service, the uniformity is low. I mean, if you go to a doctor's office, let's say 5 people came to the office. Each individual have different things. This they came for. It's not uniform. Even if it's animal physical, what is done in the result from one person is different from the result from the other person. So there's no uniformity. But this one, the result is the same. 33.8 ounces is put in this bottle, and it is now pushed out as an output. But those that came to see the doctor, their output might be what they came for is different. It's not uniform. So I recommend, like I said, I encourage you to go through it carefully. I mean, it's a self-explanatory. Now, this brings us to value chain. A value chain, what's a value chain? So everything or all steps that involve creating, delivering, and supporting a product from its raw materials to the final consumer, the value chain. And let me use a bread. You got the flour, sugar, and the butter, milk, and other things they use to make a bread. That's the raw materials. As they mix the flour, they make the what the bakers call it. They mix the flour with the butter and whatever they put on it. Then after they mix it, they now put it in the mold and then put it in the oven. So as they're doing that, they're adding value to it at each stage. They're adding value. Once it came out from the oven, they have to put the waterproof or plastic bag and put label it. So each stage, that's more value. At the end of the day, by the time it's out as a bread, it added so many values on it, and that value will be reflected on the price. So evaluation is a series of activities that an organization undertakes to add value to a product or service. And these are the 5 key components of a value chain. One is the inbound logistics, which is the process of receiving, storing, and managing raw materials. Raw materials can be flour, butter, sugar, and so on and so forth. Then operation is changing the raw materials into finished goods. So in the bakery, they change those flour, sugar, butter, milk, whatever it is. They now process it, then put it in the oven to produce bread. Then outbound logistics. Now, the bakery might have like I used to. There's a friend of mine. Well, he's much older than me, but he was retired then. When he had a bakery, so he told me that like he have like 25. He had to satisfy 25 wholesale accounts every morning. As the bread is coming out from the bakery, they are coming out. So whatever restaurants, bar. Because some bar, if you go to some bars, are also prepare sandwiches, Then grocery stores. So inbound logistics now we take those, either they come and pick it up or you take them to from the bakery, deliver it to the store where they or the bar or the restaurant where they are needed. They call it distribution of finished goods or finished product to the customers. And then marketing and sales, which involve promotion and selling of products. Then of course service, providing after sales support and maintenance. They say that there's some They want you to, let's say that there are some returns. Okay, you can change them, take the return and replace it with a better product that they want, customer wants. So now, I would like you to go through this slide 25 all the way to slide 30. So, because I want us to touch an area that is you're gonna see in the classwork and also in the homework, probably and test too. It's called productivity. Now, productivity refers to the measure of the effective use of resources, and we express it as the ratio of input to output. So you can see productivity is quantity of output divided by quantity of input. This is just the simplest way to explain productivity. We have other ways, some modifications of this formula, like here. We'll come to that in a minute. Before we do that, let me explain some of these few things here. So, when it comes to productive activities, and there are many, like I explained at the beginning, provision of services is also part of production. Now, they are the foundation of the economic system. What the baker is making, even the teacher in the classroom is producing because he's delivering services. The doctor, the mechanic, the engineer, car manufacturing, car dealership, car manufacturing, big, so many of them, So the production or productive activities help in transforming human, material, capital, informational, and other resources into higher value goods and services that people need. Now, there are two concepts that we're looking at now. First one is what is called single factor productivity. Then another one will be multiple factor productivity. Now, we say single factor productivity. Well, in fact, we call it single factor productivity because they focus on one input to measure you use one input to measure productivity. For example, if you are analyzing labor productivity, you can, calculate the output produced per labor hour. Now, multi-factor, like now in a bakery manufacturer, there's input can include labor, capital, and material. So it's more than you take account into multiple inputs, unlike single factor productivity. Things like labor, capital, materials to measure productivity. But the single factor, you may be looking only at labor hours. But here you have to look at labor, capital, and the other inputs. That's the difference between the multi-factor and single factor productivity. Now, there's what we call total productivity, which means the ratio of all the output produced by all the inputs used in the production process, including labor, material, and capital. So usually it measures overall efficiency utilizing resources. Now, I can now show you other modification of the first formula this formula here. I call it this formula here. Other modification and other terms we use when we deal with productivity. That's what we call partial measures, which is total output divided by single input. Multi-factor, of course, total output divided by subset of inputs. Then total productivity is total output divided by total inputs. And then with partial measures, you can see the formula in the script. Now, when we start using these formulas, you become more comfortable with them. Now you can use output over labor, or output for material, output for capital, output for energy, and for the partial measure. But for multi-factor measures, we can use the output divided by labor plus material. See? Or the output divided by labor plus capital plus energy, or plus material. So this one is only more of Papa's, only one input. So only one input here. But here, complete the output plus the the say the list of the inputs used. Now, for the total measure, that's total productivity, we're talking about goods and services produced divided by all the inputs used to produce them. Okay. Now, more modifications. Now, productivity can be value of output, value of input. I've already mentioned that. Now, we can also use this output of the number of customers served. This is if you're referring to a service company, like a hospital or a hotel or a driving school, and so on and so forth, divided by the input number of hours worked. Now, let's use this formula now. We'll start with the first question. The first question says, an accounting firm generates services valued at $80 per day, $80,000 per day, and has a total cost of $50,000 per day. What is a simple measure of its productivity? Now we're gonna do the calculation in Excel. So I'm gonna like I said at the beginning, for this class we'll be using Excel. Okay, this is the for this accounting firm. He said that they uses they generate $80,000 per day, and the cost is $50,000. What is the simple measure of the productivity? So we're gonna use the single factor productivity for this. So the output is $80,000. Okay, 80,000. Okay, the input, the cost, which the cost of the input is $50,000. So the productivity you can see there is a quantity of output divided by quantity of inputs, which will be 80,000 divided by 50,000. That gives 1.6. So that is your productivity for this accounting firm. What does this mean? It means that, the simplest way to explain that's why I wrote 1.6. You can see in Excel. It means that this accounting firm, when you want to explain their productivity based on our calculation now, it means that this accounting firm generates $1.60 in services for every $1 they spend on cost. So that means that they are using their resources efficiently. Any question on this? Any question? Yeah. Good. Look at this one then. It says selling services uses customer sub selling savings uses customers sub per hour by a teller as a measure of its labor productivity. So how many customers that the teller serves, they use it as a measure of their productivity. So during the past week, the savings institution's 5 tellers served a total of 2,395 customers. The business hours are from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then you say calculate the productivity measure of these tellers. So first of all, we put all the input in the Excel. So I have them here for you. So okay, how many tellers they have? The output. Okay. Now it says the output. During the past week, the savings institution 5 tellers served a total of 2,395 customers. Remember, they use the number of customers served per hour by the teller as a measure of productivity. So you have 2,395 is the output. You got 2,395, I believe. 2,395. The number of tellers. How many tellers do they have? According to this question, there are 5 tellers. The type tellers to be 5. So number of hours they work. Okay. Number of hours worked per day. So let's see how much it's gonna be from the question. So we have today they say their business hours start from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 hours per day. So we're gonna put 6 right there. 6 hours per day. Okay. The number of days work in a week. I will assume that is 5 days a week they work because we have 5 week work week. So number of hours worked by each teller per week will now become equal. Each teller say they work 6 hours per day for 5 days a week. So you gotta be 6 times 5. Give it 30 hours. So that if you want to find the total number of hours that they work, you're gonna be equal to how many tellers? 5 tellers times 30 hours that they worked per week. So with this, we can now calculate productivity for this company. So I'm gonna move to the next slide. So the productivity formula we can use is output of number of customers served, the input of number of hours worked. So you can see I also have it on the Excel. So let me bring it here. Output number of hours number of customers served and input number of hours worked. So you can press it here, equal output divided by total input, total hours worked. So in Excel, before you do, I forgot to tell you in Excel, before you do any calculation, put the equal sign first. That will put it in a ready mode. Then I click, then / means divide. Okay. 16. So that's their productivity, 16. So what does this mean? It means that each teller at the Sterling savings serve approximately 16 customers per hour. Any question on this? Any question? Okay. All right. Yep. Any question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, could you show us what the formula was for total hours worked one more time?
Oh yeah, right here. Number of tellers times 30 hours per week. Now, let me go back to Excel. So look, for each teller, number of hours worked by each teller is they work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. So number of hours each teller work equals 6 times 5. Okay, that's how I got 30. See that?
Got you. Got you. Sorry, just making sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah. Then for the whole tellers, I mean, total hours worked by all the tellers, you multiply that by 5 tellers. They have 5 tellers. 5 times the 30, I give you the total hours worked by all the tellers for that week. Then you can now divide it to get the productivity. Okay? All right. So now we can now proceed to question 3. Question 3 says, given the output of 10,000 pounds produced by Dengraph Energy Incorporated with inputs including 20 hours of labor hours, labor cost of 180,000, energy usage of 350,000 kilowatt hour costing $5,000, and raw materials amounted to 120,000 with a cost of $30,000. With all this input, answer this 3 questions. It says, what is the multi-factor productivity? That is output per labor dollar. What is the total productivity for this company? Okay. Now, we know I'll go and put all these things right here in Excel. So you can see output. The output they have. You can see that it says here 10,000 pounds sorry, 100,000 pounds. So we have it there. 100,000 pounds. Then energy costs, okay, you can see the cost of energy right here. It says, energy with input of 20,000 labor hours. The labor cost of, okay, energy of 350,000 kilowatt hour costing $5,000. So I'm going to put $5,000 right there. $5,000. Okay. Materials. Okay, with inputs, listen with labor. Raw materials amount to 120,000 with a cost of $30,000. Put $30,000 right there. Cost of material, $30,000. So with this, we can find our multi-factor productivity. I actually have it done here too in the presentation. Yeah, you can see it here as well, right here. So multi-factor productivity means output divided by energy plus materials. Okay. And I have it here as well. Output divided by energy plus materials. Okay. So we have output is, the multi-factor productivity becomes output, which is 100,000 divided by, put it in parentheses, energy plus material. So we have energy plus material, which is this. Then close the parentheses, then you press the enter key. That will give you the multi-factor productivity, 2.85. We'll call it 2.86. I'll call it that. So you can see it right here. Have it right here, 2.86. See? Which means that then graph energy incorporated produces 2.86 pounds for every dollar spent on non-labor inputs. Now, the other question they asked us was, what is the total productivity? For that, you're going to use output plus. You have to, now that time you put labor. Okay. So we have, in this case, they told us that the labor cost is 20,000 labor hours with a cost of over 80,000. So you have labor cost, 180,000. So that the total productivity, move this one, bring it, see it is the output divided by labor plus energy plus materials. So for equals, output is 100,000 divided by, in parentheses, labor. Let me see the cost of labor. Hold on, let me see the cost of labor. Make sure I have got it right. Okay, that's the cost of labor. Okay, good. So you have 180,000 plus energy, 5,000 plus materials. Okay. Press the enter key to give you the result 0.46. And I can see it right here. Okay, 0.46, which means that then grab energy produces 0.465 pounds for every dollar. Yeah, of inputs. Now, any question on this? Okay, excellent. Now, sometimes production might increase, and it depends on three factors or three variables. Labor contributes 10% of annual increase, at least 10%. Capital contributes at least 8% of the annual increase, and management at least 52%. Now, if we apply this to this, let's say this company, say Riverside Metal Works, they can produce cast bronze valve on a 15 person assembly line. On the recent day, 180 valves were produced during a 6-hour shift. What is the labor productivity of the line? The manager at Riverside changed the layout and was able to increase production to 220 units per 6-hour shift. What is the new labor productivity? Okay. Then what is the percentage of productivity increase? Now we can do this by let's put the everything in. That's number okay. The unit they produced. Okay. In the produce on a recent day, 180 valves we are produced during a 6-hour shift. Okay. 180. 180. Number of workers. How many workers do they have? 15 person assembly line. That means 15 workers. Yeah. There are 15 workers. Then how number of hours worked? Usually they work 6-hour shifts. Okay. So the one of hours work is 6 hours. Okay, 6-hour shift. So the productivity right here, okay, you see output unit produced, then divided by total labor input, that means number of workers times hours worked. Okay. I also did it here so you can also read them in the PowerPoint as well. Anyway, I think you get the point. So you have it here as equals 180 divided by number of workers times number of hours they worked. Okay. I'll give you this 2. Then now the question says that okay, it says that the manager at Riverside changed the layout and was able to increase production by 220 units per 6-hour shift. What is the new labor productivity? Okay, 220 units. You just changed the layout. The same number of people are there. The only thing that he changed was the layout. 220. So that the new productivity now becomes equals 220 divided by the same number of workers they have and the same shift. Okay. Now in Excel, asterisk means times. Give us 2.444. You can even see it here as well. Okay. 2.44 vars per hour. So that the percent increase, which is what the question they asked us here, what is the percentage of productivity increase? The percent increase now becomes equal to let me move this here and bring this one so you can see it. So this is the old productivity here. This is the new productivity. Okay. So percent increase now becomes new productivity minus old productivity divided by old productivity times 100. Now in Excel, you don't need to multiply by 100. If Excel will just change it to percent if you like it that way. So the percent now becomes new productivity minus old productivity, okay, divided by old productivity. Yep. So you guys change it to percent. Click on the percent icon here to 2%. Okay. So you can see right here 22% as well. So that answered that question. Any question on this one? Okay. All right. I'm gonna send this video, put it on the Canvas so that you can watch it as well. And last thing is the last question we're gonna be looking at is Question 5. It says here that Okwele Holdings, I think it's Okwele Holdings, okay, produces custom-made furniture. The company produces 800 tables per day using the following resources. Labor, 30 hours a day at $15 per hour. Raw material, 10,000 pounds per day at $2 per pound. Energy, $3,600 per day. Capital, $7,000 per day. Calculate the labor productivity per labor hour for these tables. B says, calculate the multi-factor productivity for these tables. C says, if Okwele Holdings, okay, Holdings can reduce the energy bill by $800 per day without cutting production or changing any other input. Calculate the percent change in multi-factor productivity. So the first thing we do is to put these inputs in, and of course the output, 800 tables. So I'm gonna show you where I had them already. They're already in. Put them in. Okay. Now we can now answer part A, B, and C. Part A says calculate the labor productivity per hour. Okay. The labor productivity per hour. So at this part of it here, labor productivity says output, but input. So we have so let me bring it a labor productivity. The output, tables per day, input, labor hours. Okay. So you have the output, which is number of tables they put in. Okay. But input, labor inputs are right here, 300. Labor per day in hours. Give you this 2.666, which is 2.67 as a matter of fact. If you round it, 2.67, that's labor productivity right there. 2.67. Okay. So 2.67 tables per hour. Now, part B says calculate the multi-factor productivity for these tables. To find that, we're gonna get the total cost. Okay. We're gonna find the labor cost. We're gonna find the material cost. Energy cost and the capital cost are already given to us. So once we get all these costs, we can now get the total cost and then use it to find the multi-factor productivity by using the formula output or total cost per dollar per day. So let's go to the question. The Excel and figure it out. Labor costs. Okay, it'd be given by labor per day times wage per hour. Labor hours per day is $300 and wage per hour is $15 per hour. So that labor cost now becomes 300 times 15. What are $500? Raw material costs raw material itself times cost per pound. So this is raw material used. Okay. So you have equal 10,000 times the cost of raw material per pound, which is $2. Then energy cost is given already, I believe. You can see right here. The cost of energy is 3,600. It's on the question. You can see it on the question. Energy cost is 3,600 per day, and the capital is 7,000 per day. So we're gonna go and put them. Okay, 3,600. Okay, 7,000. So that the total cost becomes add all these costs. So the total cost, as you can see from the PowerPoint presentation, will be formula is labor cost plus raw material cost plus energy cost plus capital cost. That gives total cost. So let's go and put it right there. Total cost would be labor cost plus raw material cost plus energy cost plus capital cost. Project, I can give you 35,100. So that the multi-factor productivity can now be calculated. Okay. As follows: output by total cost. And our output is 800 as number of table produced per day equals 800 divided by total cost, which is this. So 0.0228. I mean, I'll call it it's not it's not 2 cents, I believe, to call it, because not up to oh, probably $2. No, point zero two. 0.02. Okay, that's what it is. And that's what I have on the paper too. You can see right here. 0.0228 tables per day. Okay. Now, another thing they want us to, we find it. Now, but it says on the question, part C says, if Okwele Holdings reduce the energy bill by $800 per day without cutting production or changing any other inputs, calculate the recent change, the percent change in multi-factor productivity. So now that means we have to calculate a new multi-factor productivity with reduced energy cost of $800. So we go to that place. We have energy cost that is reduced by $800. And the new energy cost now becomes equal. The original energy cost was 3,600. So now it was reduced. The cost went down by $800. So we're gonna do 3,600 minus 800. Give me 2,800. Okay. Now, new total cost will now become equal to this 4,500 plus raw material cost plus, for energy cost, we're going to use this one here. Not this one, because it is now reduced. Plus, now capital cost. That gives you, give you 34,300. So that the new multi-factor productivity now becomes output, which is 800. That's number of tables produced, divided by new total cost. Okay. This. And that gives us 0.20233. Now, I think this thing is for some reason this cell is corrupted. It's giving me an answer that is a little bit off from the main answer, but we can use it. I'm sure you get the point that how you break it down. Once you use it, it will give you the correct answer. Just a minor off the mark because of this cell here is corrupted, I think. Anyway, percentage change now become new factor multi-factor productivity minus old multi-factor productivity divided by the old multi-factor productivity times 100. Now, like I say, if you're using Excel, you don't need to multiply by 100. So have equal new one, new MFP minus old MFP divided by old MFP with 2.33%. Like I said, this cell is been corrupted. Let me try it here. This minus the old one divided by the old one. Okay. Yeah. So now you can now change it to percent. Just click on it and click on the percent icon. And if you want it to include the decimal place, you click on this. If you want to decrease it, click on this. Okay. And that gives us the answer we are looking for. Any question on this? Okay. I have some of them did here on paper on this place too. 2%, which is what we have, 2.19% rounded to two decimal places. Okay. Any question on this? Okay. No question. Now, let me take your attendance, make sure everybody's here. Since there's no question, so something I'm seeing here that I don't have for here. Okay, I have it. Then I have Jackson, Franklin. Who's Franklin? All right, let's see. Falkman. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Who is Ife? I-F-E. Hello?
Yeah, that's
What's
me.
your real name?
Ife Oluwamipo Odusanya.
Udusanya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think I see it now. All right. Okay. All right, see. Reynolds. This is it. Reynolds. China. Okay. Come here. All right. Bill. Okay, I got this person. And why? Okay, got it. Sin Billy. Yes, that's a name I didn't see before. Sin Bill. Sin Devon. Okay. Now we have us Sakia. Okay. Else. I think I have everyone. So any question before we leave?
Did you call my name?
What's your name?
Courtney Okuzu.
Yeah, I didn't call it, but I checked it already.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay. All right. Since there's no question, let us know and we can. I'll see you guys in the classroom next week, okay?
Thank you.
You're
Good
welcome.
day.
Professor, were there attendance for
Yeah,
the
what's your
class?
name?
It is Mbasa Buhlungu.
Say it again slowly, please.
Oh, so sorry. I apologize. It is Mbasa
And last name is
Buhlungu.
see, it start with G
No, it starts with an M. So my last name starts with a B, though.
or B.
Yeah, Buhlungu.
Oh, yeah, I see it. I checked it.
Okay.
I checked it.
All right. Thank you
Your
so
first
much.
name is Mbasa, right?
Yes, it's Mbasa. That's
I
exactly
got
how
it.
it is.
I got
All
it.
right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, have a nice night. Let me close this.
Hey, Professor, I hope you got me too. Tavon.
Tavon, what's your last name?
St. Wilson.
Say it again.
St. Wilson.
Oh, yeah, I have to write it in because I wasn't there when I was preparing this paper.
All right, all right.
You just registered, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's why. Yeah, I have it. I have it checked.
All right. Thank you.
You're
Did you
welcome.
say mine? I didn't hear.
What's your name, ma'am?
Tiffany Hill.
Yeah, I checked your name already.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. Did you get Antoine Adams?
Adams?
Yes.
Antoine. Oh, I'm glad you say something now. Yes, I just got it now. So now that I hear your
Okay, great.
voice.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy your week,